Hello students, welcome to your history class. Today we will learn about Cholas of the South. The Cholas were the powerful ruling dynasty of the South India between the 1st and the 3rd centuries AD, also called as Imperial Cholas. After going into decline for some centuries, the Cholas rose again in the second half of the 9th century AD as one of the most brilliant dynasties in Indian history. For the next 400 years, the Cholas overruled over the South India. This period is referred to as Classical Age of South Indian history. The successor of Vijayalaya conquered the neighboring regions and kingdoms grew in size and power. Under this dynasty, we have Raja Chola from 985 to 1016 AD. As he was the most powerful ruler of the Chola dynasty, he defeated the Chalukyas of the Kalyani, the Pandyas, the Cheras and Vengis. He controlled his islands of Sea, Lakshadweep and Maldives. He introduced the two important features of the Chola administration, the navy and local self-government. He was the founder of the powerful Chola navy. Raja Chola was the great builder. He constructed the beautiful Brideshwara temple dedicated to the Shiva at Tanjore. It was the finest example of this Chola dynasty. Next we have the Rajendra Chola from 1014 to 1044 AD. Rajendra Chola succeeded his father Raja and took the Chola Empire to greater heights. He continued his policies and even raided the Ganga Valley, Sri Lanka and the countries of Southeast Asia, developing a navy for these expeditions. He assumed the title of Gangaikonda and founded a new capital called Gangaikonda Cholapuram. The next we have the temples. The Chola, being great patron of art and architecture, made significant contributions in these fields. The big temple of Tanjore and Gangaikonda Cholapuram, built by Raja and Rajendra Chola, were architectural and the sculptural marvels. Next we will learn about the features of temple architecture. The temples are in Dravidian style, South Indian style. Chief feature is Vimana or lower Gopuram were richly ornamented in Brideshwari temple. The Vimana or tower is about 5 meters high upon the square, comprising 3 successive stories. It is crowned by a single block of granite 7.5 meters high and about 80 tons in weight. The temples during this period emerged as social, cultural and political institutions. The village assembly invariably held its meetings in the temple mandapa. The temples were also endowed with land by rulers as well as by other rich persons. The produce of the land went into maintaining all the specialists who worked at the temple and very often lived near it. Temples were the greatest part of the Chola dynasty. Many cultural activities like music and dance also proposed in the temples. The Bharatanatyam, the South Indian dance form, originated here. Amongst the crafts associated with temples, the making of bronze images was the most distinctive. The most renowned bronze image of the period are those of Nataraja or the dancing Shiva. Administration. The Chola administration was highly organized and efficient. The king Raja built up the Chola power with his clever administrative skills. The king was the head of administration and ruled with the help of his ministers. The Chola empires was divided into mandalams, provinces or states. Vala Nadus district and Nadus villages were smaller units. A large town formed a separate unit called Tanjore. The administration work was carried out with the help of village assemblies such as Ur, Sabha and Nagaram. Ur was common village assembly. Sabha was the assembly of gathering of learned adult people, and Nagaram consists of merchants, traders and artisans. Each village had a treasury of its own, and accounts were maintained properly. These assemblies are made to look after the affairs of the village. Irrigation. Irrigation was given special attention and tanks, wells, dams and artificial lakes were built to ensure ample water. Irrigation channels were built that carried water from the river and lakes to the field. Revenue. The major source of revenue was the land. The land was categorized according to its production. The king took 1/3 of the produce either in cash or in kind. In case of failure of crops due to drought or heavy rains, the land revenue was exempted. Other taxes included professional tax and those on trade, forest, mines, irrigation and salt. Villagers increased their activity to get the revenue from the land. Literature. Language and literature also progressed significantly under the Cholas. They encouraged the study of grammar, astronomy, philosophy, art, etc. Many literary works translated from Sanskrit into Tamil, Telugu and Kannada languages. Kumban wrote the Ramayana in Tamil. Pampa, Pona and Pana were the three levels of Kannada literature. The Chola rulers used both Tamil and Sanskrit in their official works. Let's recap. We have learnt about the different kingdoms that covered the regions of North India, the Deccan and the South India. The powerful Rajput kingdoms and the clans ruled during this period. Muhammad Ghori clashed twice with Prithviraj Chauhan. The Rashtrakutas are the ruler of Deccan. Chola kingdom in the south and tremendous increase in agriculture.